This is just a quick screencast talking about some of the work that has occurred this year in our teaching learning community. One of the groups was about, or one of the groups I was part of is cognitive load theory. And then in cognitive load theory, if we have a look at some of the things that are relevant to cognitive load theory, one of the links down here is quite good to have a look at. This is from the SEC Ed website, and it gives you a bit of a definition of what cognitive load theory is, some of the background in terms of the science side of things, working memory, and some examples of what you can do within the classroom. So I thought I would try and apply some of those principles to my Firefly pages that I share with the students when I am teaching them. And you can sort of see this is like a typical Firefly page for me a little bit earlier on. You can see September, in that my Firefly pages were sort of looking like this in terms of lots and lots of content and looking nice and things like this. But when you start to dig down into the CLT, the cognitive load theory, this will overload some of the different types of memory that the students have within the lesson. So between September and if we go back to sort of May, now you'll see this is what my Firefly pages look like as a consequence of cognitive load theory. So for example, I'm using, if you go to edit page, you'll see that there is the ability for you, when you click on an element, to use a collapsible element. So all of these are collapsible. So for example, if I want the students to focus on the learning intention or the success criteria or a location for a resource, then I can quickly hide and close those. So when I'm in the class, I make this nice and large and we can just focus on one thing. And it's quite easy for me to remind the students again, because can you tell me what the learning intention was? And then elicit that response, and then they can check it by seeing it. So it's just a nice way of being able to, rather than have a toilet roll page of content that can be a distraction and overload the different types of memory, this one is a lot simpler. And that's as a consequence of me learning and finding out about the effects of overload on your memory. Just a little thing down here as well, in terms of we use Flippity quite a bit. And so, for example, if I want to randomize some of the students, or if I want to choose a student randomly, then we can use this website here. And it's really good in terms of you can just use these spin wheels. You could actually do a single name, but you can also get all the students to go into groups of 2 or 3 or whatever you want and randomize them. And if you know that those two students don't work together very well, you can click on these and drag them across. And it's just a really nice website. Maybe I'll do another video at some point to show you how to use that. So use the ability to drop the items down to reduce the overload on working memory and find out a little bit more about it. I hope you found that useful.